viewers, on the behalf of the Denizen of Education Impression Roorkee, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Today, we have a special guest with us. He is Dr. Da Silva. He is working as a Deputy Vice Chancellor in Research and Innovation, University of Stermore, Kenya. Dr. Da Silva is an energy specialist and he has 20-year experience in the field of energy. He has worked different organizations in Kenya and US and Germany with related to solar energy. Dr. Da Silva is working in different aspects of renewable energy and sustainable development. So I extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Da Silva in our virtual interview series. First of all, I want to know about your journey. How you start your journey, Professor?
Okay, so I was born in a very small city, some 500 kilometers from the capital of my state in Brazil. And I was encouraged by some 3 friends to go and do engineering in the capital. And then I went there. I was 19, and I managed to pass an exam and be given a scholarship to study engineering, electrical engineering. Finished, then I got a scholarship also to do master's degree, yeah. And my supervisor was happy with me because I did it, I finished the degree reasonably well. And then he offered me a PhD scholarship. And then I did also the scholarship, PhD, and I finished in 1997. I was 37. And then that was when I got this opportunity I had 2 opportunities. One was I could go to California. There is a center for research there in coordination, in high voltage coordination. And then the other was to come and set up an NGO to deal with the students without much income in Kenya, in Uganda, and I decided to come for Uganda instead of going to the US. So that's I stayed in Makerere University, which is the university in Uganda, for 13 years, from 1997 to 2010. Then 2010, I was poached. These people from Strathmore gave me a very nice offer. I couldn't refuse. So that is it. So here I am. Yeah.
Yes. Professor, you have researched a lot in energy sector. So how it become you so fascinating for you? What
Well,
opportunity did you find in the sector?
yeah, I have been always a bit curious and trying to solve problems. And then in Uganda, there was an island called Bugala. They didn't have electricity. And I did a study in how to electrify that island. And it was either to put a 7 kilometers power cable from land up to the island, or to set up a solar system there. That was in 1997. You know, I had the cost of solar was very high, but I managed to prove that even in that condition, with the high cost of solar, it was possible and viable to put a system there. So I wrote a paper. I went and presented it in Cape Town. It was good, and I got very excited. So I came home, and then I bought my own solar panel, and I put on the roof of the Makerere. And when power would go away, which was quite often, I was the only one with light and a printer. I even had a printer that could print with the power of the panels upstairs there. So I became really passionate about renewable energy, and especially solar energy, because the sun in Africa is very abundant, you know. So that was it. I began then dealing with teaching my students renewable energy at master's level. Yeah, it was really, what you know, in life is very interesting. When you do nothing, nothing happens. But when you do a small thing, then life offers you an opportunity. Then you move. Then in the other position, another bigger thing appears. So it happens like that for me.
So, Professor, how are engineering colleges abroad dealing with practical and blended mode of learning due to this pandemic?
Well, you see, here in Strathmore, we are a small university. We have about 5,000 students only, and we have 174 lecturers. So when the pandemic came last year, we were very fast. You know, when you are small, you can be fast. So we were very fast. In 2 weeks, strictly 2 weeks, we managed to train everybody how to teach using Zoom. And we bought 174 professional license. We also bought bundles because the students were at home. So each student got $5 bundles that would give them 10 gig per month. Then it was a negotiation with the telecom company. Then, you know, all our students have laptops, because when they register, we give them a laptop. So they had laptop, they had bundles, and they had the lecturers able to teach. So we were really fast. So the parents were fascinated by that, because some parents, they have the daughter in Strathmore, the son in another university. So the son was doing nothing, and the daughter was busy working and doing tests and learning. So it was very nice. It was strategic for us. And then this taught me something that when a crisis comes, there is always an opportunity hidden there, if you care to work hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And what are the ways colleges in abroad are implementing to make the students learn new skills at home? Because in pandemic, they are in home, all students. So how
Yes.
you manage to learn new skills to students?
Look, doctor, this situation of the COVID-19 in Kenya was not very difficult. I mean, very bad. Like I see Brazil, very bad. United States was very bad. France, very bad. Spain, very bad. But now in Kenya, there were not many cases of COVID. So the government, the Minister of Health, relaxed a bit. So when they did that, a bit of relaxation, we were very fast also to bring the students of engineering to do their laboratories here, We divided them, they were only 30, the pioneer classes. So we divided them into two groups of 15, and then we managed to do all the training practicals, you respecting the social distancing and the other specifications of the ministry. Even we invited the Minister of Health to come here, and he came. Then we gave him food, showed him the places, everything. So he was happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure. So, how should universities collaborate globally to provide a student with a better learning experience and incorporate advancement in developing skills?
Okay, I really believe a lot in cooperation.
Okay.
I feel that when we cooperate, 2 plus 2 is not 4, can be 10, can be 100, And so that's what I think regarding specifically our professional as engineers. I would like that the whole, say, world of engineering were to be somehow accredited globally. There is a global accreditation called the Washington Accord. So if your university were to pursue the Washington Accord and successfully be accredited there, and I also in Africa, I do it, I look for accreditation with the Washington Accord. Then we get someone from, say, Latin America, Brazil, a country, for instance, that they will also pursue that. The moment we do that, we could move your 3/4 of students of yours could come to Kenya. My students could go to your place. And then some of ours here together with yours could go to Brazil or could go to Canada, because there is like a uniform accreditation that caters for everybody. And there is a lot of synergy. People doing that, they get exposed to different situations. They become better to understand people, how people live differently, but it works, Yeah. So my dream is that with this engineering that we have started this year, in some 3 or 4 years, to get everything to be accredited by the Washington Accord. So then I definitely could participate in some activity with your university, and the students will profit a lot. They will be a lot more better engineers without spending too much money, because even here, if somebody comes here with $100, he can live a whole month, eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner with $100. So, and sleep. So I feel India and Africa should work more together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And among different domains of engineering in India, the students have limited exposure. So please
Okay.
suggest some measures that could help engineering students in India to have better domains.
Okay, now what happens, you see, I've been in my university for undergrad and master's and PhD, was a public university. And when I came to work in Makerere, it was another public university. And most public universities, they go out to ask for funds from, mainly from abroad, you know. But then, when I came to Strathmore, I realized that here they are a lot more aggressive to go out and get support for the bright and needy students. You know, a student is very bright, got a very good mark, but it is from such a poor background that the parents are peasants, they do not manage to raise the fund so that the individual may stay without education. So what we do in Strathmore, and I've been doing it for 11 years already, is to go to the industry. I go to the banks, to Stanchart, to Stanbic, Cooperative Bank, Citibank, INM, and then I tell them, look, I am building capacity for you. I am bringing you very good students, all around education, very polite, very kind, and very skilled in things that makes you to make money. So why don't you kindly help us with the scholarship? They give. It is amazing. And then also, when they give money, they get interested in us. So we begin now inviting them to help us when we need to do. Every 3 years, we do a reviewing of the syllabus for commerce, for IT, these things that move all the time. So when we are doing the revision of the curriculum, we invite the industry, the banks, the financiers, the engineering companies, the utility. We invite them. They come, they give us ideas on how to improve our syllabus to make it more practical, etc. And then they feel even more attached to us. They give us more scholarship. So I can tell you something which is almost like a miracle, but we have 5,000 students, as I told you. 1,200 are doing masters and PhD, so they are paying for themselves. But in the undergrad, out of the 4,000 more or less that is there, we have 1,200 is doing training here in scholarship. They have scholarship. So it's amazing, you know. But it's because of that we insist with the industry, says, look, we should partner because we are building people for you. And it sells. Yeah, this idea sells very well.
Professor, tell me about your that you are working on solar energy. So,
Yes.
what facilities you are having in your university related to solar energy?
Yeah, we began the Center for Research in Energy, Strathmore Energy Research Center, in 2012. That is coming to 9 years. And we began asking funds from GIZ, the Germans. They are very, very generous. I really appreciate the Germans. So they have a developing agents called GIZ, and they never failed me. Whenever I wanted some things, like, for instance, when I was in Uganda, I was working with them. They gave me funds for a project to distribute 1.5 million cook stoves, energy efficient cook stoves. They gave money for us to set up a laboratory for testing the stoves with something called PEMS, particle emission measurement systems. And we train of trainers on how to build those stoves in the villages. and it was wonderful. Then also they helped me to set up a laboratory for testing panels, inverters, controllers, batteries, and lamps. And so the government of Uganda then gave me $150,000 and says, this is very good because we'll train students, they will be able to understand solar, which is a source of energy without carbon emission. So I have noticed that every time you have a good idea, if you take it to the donors, they support you, you see. And so we began with the GIZ, but then we got also the people from Norway. Norwegians are very generous people also. So we asked them to help us to develop a master's in renewable energy. They said it is granted, here is the money. The only request we have is half of the students have to be women. So it was nice that we went after ladies to join the masters, and it is working up to now. Up to now, I left Makerere being the coordinator of this master in 2012. It's coming to 9 years now, but up to now is very competitive, and people pay for themselves, and the government pays also. So I sometimes feel that we are a bit shy. We don't ask much, but if we prepare a good concept, we go, people help, yeah. So I'm really very grateful to the Germans and to the Norwegians when I was working in Makerere, yeah.
So, Professor, what is your future plans regarding energy? Because you are working on energy. So, what is your future?
Yes. My future plan is to become a huge center of excellence, training people from the continent and also even from abroad. We actually have begun, we are accepting masters and PhD students from all different countries in the world. For instance, we had here a lady called Rebecca Shirley. She's from Berkeley. She came to do her postdoc here. We had another called Richard from Loughborough University in the UK. He came to do his PhD here. We had a very young man called Strasser. He's from Technical University of Berlin. He came here to do his final year project for the masters. So he set up a solar system in an island in Kenya here called Wasini Island. It was beautiful. He's working up to now. So we try to encourage people to come to do things with us, because then one thing, of course, the students love us, they enjoy the place, we take them also for excursions, etc. But then when they go back, they arrange for us to apply for grants together. We have been working together, like with University of Technical University of Berlin, Technical University of Munich, there is a Hamburg University in Germany as well, then Delft University in the Netherlands, then Sciences Po in France, St. Gallens in Switzerland, and it is like that. We make a contact, somebody comes, and then we become friends, you know. So it's very nice. Today in Strathmore, we have more than 36 different nations studying here. Of course, Indians are many because there are a very strong Indian community here in Kenya, but we have also many others from other African countries. And sometimes some people who come like to work in embassies and etc. So they put their children to study here also. So it's very nice. 36 different nations right now. So what we want to do, our commitment is mainly with the majority who are Kenyans. No? So we have got last year, despite of the COVID, we got a grant of £100,000, and we developed a master's degree in energy in partnership with the University of Cape Town, which is the best university in Africa. they helped us. We developed, now we are launching this master's in September. It is called Masters in Sustainable Energy Transition, because as you know, we are moving from fossil fuel to renewable energy. We are also moving from centralized place to decentralized this source of energy. Yeah, and also we are moving from digitalizing all our assets. So you don't see people coming to your house to check your meter to see how many kilowatt you have used. No, every meter now is a smart meter, is GIS based. It captures your consumption, send it to the utility, the bills comes via email to you. So we are in this world in which things are transforming, and computers are a lot more available, and the smart meter, the smart house, the smart city. I joke that one day you will be talking to Professor Da Silva, then your mobile phone will ring, then you say, then you check, there is a message there from your fridge telling you, please bring eggs because eggs are over. You know, this is Internet of Things. There is Internet of Things. There is the big data and analytics there. So people can do a lot more in the field of energy with using smart systems. So I believe that this is the future. And then that's why we put these masters. There is a lot of IT there and also a lot of finances, so that the students who do the masters after engineering or after IT, they can develop systems that are like internet enabled and things like that. So this is the future. Yeah.